Hey everybody, welcome here to Musicians Edition. This is Evan on the guitar here in this one, and in this video we're going to be learning about bass runs. So a bass run is a way that you can connect one chord to another by playing a couple of notes in between those chords so the transition sounds a bit more fluid. So for example, if I'm playing a G chord, and I know I'm going to make a jump up to a C chord, it's a jump up of a fourth, and so there's notes in between that I can play to make that jump sound a bit more fluid to fill the gap there. So I can play G, and then work my way up to it, that's C, and back down. And that is using bass runs to fill in that space and connect those chords a bit. So something really commonly used in chord progressions, especially when you do have a bigger gap between notes. Sometimes you might have a bass layered with a guitar playing that same line as well too. So let's go ahead and look at some examples and practice using these bass runs so that you can incorporate them into your play too. All right, so we're going to go through a few different patterns here. For the first set, we're just going to practice going back and forth between G and C. And so the full G chord we would get by playing 3, 2, 0, 0, 0, 3. That full C chord would be not playing this low E, but then just playing 3, 2, 0, 1, 0. Both very common chords. Hopefully you guys are familiar. G and C. So to start off, we're not even going to play those full chords. We're just going to practice playing these single notes, these bass notes pretty much. So our first one is right here. So starting with G, we're going to play 2 times on that G, which is the 3rd fret of the E string. Bum, bum, right there. And then we're going to do our bass run, which is going to be playing the A string openly, and then 2nd fret of the A string, leading us into that C bass note, which is that 3rd fret. So we're going to play G, G, work up, C, C, back down, G, G. And this is just a loop we're going to play over and over again. So here it is. Let's go ahead and play that together. 1, 2, ready, go. There it is. That's our first one. So we can go ahead and work on playing that quicker, of course, as quick as you are able to play it. Let's try this one a little bit quicker here with me, and then we'll move on to our next one. 1, 2, here we go. There it is. So that gives you the idea of what this bass run is going to do. Obviously on guitar we don't often just play single notes, so let's level this up and add a bit more to this.
This lesson is brought to you by the Musicians Edition practice book. Make goals and keep track of progress throughout the whole year. When you're done with this video lesson, don't forget to mark this practice time in your Musicians Edition practice book. Now back to the video.
And for our next set, we are going to go ahead and play the bass note at the beginning. So that same G, and then we're going to play the full chord right after. So make sure you are fretting that full chord of G. We're going to play just bass note, full chord, and then we're going to do our bass run after that. So nice and slow demonstration like this. So make sure as you are doing that bass run up to C, you do finish on what for me is going to be my ring finger playing on C, so I can use my middle and index to still play the rest of that. So if before you were relying on your index, your middle finger to play just that single note bass run, make sure you do end on that ring finger on C. Either playing that ring finger on the 2 and the 3, or middle finger on 2 and then switching to the ring on 3, then getting ready to play that full chord after. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this one together, nice and slow. 1, 2, here we go. right, so now you're getting the idea here. Let's go ahead and play this one just one more time a little bit quicker. 1, 2, here we go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add one more part to this, and then we're gonna switch over and play something new. And for our last part, we're gonna add 2 full strums to start this thing out. So you gotta be quicker in this bass run, because before you could just have the first note figured out, and then while it's playing, get the rest of that chord. Now we have to have that full chord ready after we do that run immediately. So that's gonna be like this: 2 full strums on G. Okay. O2, get ready for the full chord of C, back to full chord of G. So you really got to especially move that middle finger down quickly if you're playing that on the run up to C, or again, you can just do that ring finger, slide it up to the 3 afterwards as well too, as you're making that move from G up to C. So let's go ahead and play this one nice and slow. 1, 2, here we go. All right, and one more time, a little bit quicker here. 1, 2, here we go. All right, that is enough of this. Let's go ahead and switch it up and add some new chords into this one. All right, for our last piece, messing with this kind of a rhythm, we're gonna go ahead and add in one new chord. That is gonna be a D. So our full pattern is gonna be G, C, G, D. So first part, sticking with that same thing we were just doing, 2 full Gs, bass run, O2 up to 2 full Cs, back down to G. Nope, look at this bass run, it's a little bit different. It's not O2, this is 2, 3, which is B then C, leading us up to D, right there. So we're gonna go from that 2 G hits, B, C, that 2 and 3, finishing at D. Then we're gonna go ahead and use that same run that we have been using, B to A, that 2 and O on the A string, back down to G with 1 big hit. We won't play this one as a loop, we'll just do it that one time through and end on G. We'll go ahead and get practice with that. So go ahead and practice. Remember, our D chord is gonna be that new chord we've added. Here's that box for it, D major. So practice that run of 2, 3, and that switch up to D. Make sure you can get your fingers in the right spot. All right, so very, very slowly, let's go ahead and do this. 1, 2, here we go. All right, were you able to keep up with that one? All right, our new change again, 2, 3, up to that D. Let's go ahead and play it one more time at that speed. Go ahead and practice on your own as well too if you need it. 1, 2, here we go. All right, feel ahead to continue to practice that one on your own. Speed it up as much as you'd like to. I think we're getting a little bored of playing the same thing, so let's go ahead and switch it up, get some new chords and a new pattern. All right, for our last piece to practice these bass runs, we're gonna go ahead and add 2 new chords. We're still gonna stick in G major. We're gonna switch up and add an A minor and an E minor to this one though. So our full progression is gonna be a G, C, A minor, E minor. So make sure you do know those chords. They are very common ones, so hopefully you do, but here's G, we've been playing it. C, we've been playing it. A minor, you're hopefully familiar. Here's the box for it. O2210, not playing low E. And then finishing on E minor, hopefully one y'all know too, just playing these 2 frets right there, the 2nd fret on the A and D strings. So all together here, we're gonna play a G to a C to an A minor to an E minor. All right, and for our pattern, we are gonna play bass note to top 4 strings, back and forth like that. So starting with G, you can see what this one's gonna look like. That bass note of G, like that. Bass note, top 4, bass note, top 4. All right, we're gonna play that, 3 times, and then work in our bass run to C, playing that same idea. Bass note, top 4, bass note, top 4, bass note, top 4. And now how can we connect ourselves down to A? There's not 2 notes in between C and A that are in this key, but we can play C 1 extra time, and then go down, play B, and work our way down to A with our same pattern. And now we need to make our connection from here, A, down to E minor. We can go ahead and do that by playing G to F sharp, then down to E on that open E string, and we're gonna go ahead and play the top 4 strings of that chord. And then let's connect this E back to G, and we're gonna go ahead and do that by playing E again. We're gonna go ahead and do that by playing E again to F sharp on that 2nd fret and finish on G. So all we're doing here is we're finding that chord, we're picking out, if there's 2 notes between them we can use, we're gonna do those 2. If there's only 1 note between them that is in our key, then we're just gonna play the bass note of the chord 1 more time, and then the 1 note in between them, moving to that next one. All right, so 1 more time, nice and slow. We have G. Let's connect it to C. Let's connect this C to A. Connect this A to E minor. And let's connect this E minor back to G. That is our main idea here. So let's play this all the way through 1 time, nice and slowly. 1, 2, here we go. Finishing on G, 1 big hit, or continuing that pattern like that. So that is it for our bass runs. We're gonna finish this off. Let's play this 1 more time, just a little bit quicker, and then we'll wrap up at the end here. 1, 2, here we go. So that will do it for us here at Musicians Edition. I hope that was good practice to help you understand bass runs. Whenever you're playing chord progressions, think about how you can mix a couple extra notes in there to connect your chords, especially when you're making those bigger jumps. You can make those jumps seem not as sudden. So hope this is great practice for you. Have fun playing, and we will see you next time.